Pardon me, everyone. We're going to get started in just a moment, but if you haven't received a raffle ticket yet, you know we're all about giving away stuff here in academic affairs. AJ, apparently, and Celissa are the people to see for raffle tickets, and we'll get started in about 33 seconds. All right. I'm reluctant to break up the reunion chatter, but there is the CFA lunch that we have to end in plenty of time for you to get there. So I will. Oh, here comes AJ. Is that the winning ticket?
Yes.
All right. This is the time of year where I'm reminded of John Sebastian. Brad Owen laughs, so I think he might know the reference. But he was the person, if I'm not mistaken, who wrote the theme to Welcome Back, Kotter. And my favorite line of that song is, "Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back." So in any case, welcome back, everybody. It's good to see everyone here. I'm happy to have the privilege to be here to welcome you to another great year here at CSUSB. Despite what the president mentioned about the budget, we're going to have a great year, dag nabbit. So welcome back, everyone. And speaking of the CFA lunch, faculty luncheon, Ron Chen wrote me a couple of days ago, and he said, he writes, "We, the CFA, will finally have our signature faculty luncheon in person Thursday, August 17th. More AJ. Is there an advantage to having the orange tickets over the white tickets? No, okay. In person, Thursday, August 17th, right after the general faculty meeting in the Obershaw Dining Room, which is also known as SMSU East, I think, 205. And so he asked that we make the announcement at the beginning of the general faculty meeting. Ron, wherever you may be, announcement made. All right. So again, good morning, everybody, and welcome again to the 2023-2024 academic year. I hope that you all had a restful, rejuvenating and rejoiceful and rambunctious, anything that starts with an R, summer. I hope that you know, you didn't work too hard, and that you were able to have a little bit of fun. Couple of housekeeping items. Each of you should have received 3 informational items yesterday as part of our Welcome to the Fall 2023 message. They include the Academic Affairs AY 2022-2023 Annual Report, the Faculty Affairs and Development New Tenure Track Faculty Hires Booklet, featuring, as the President pointed out earlier, our 40 new tenure line faculty faculty hires. That's exciting. And a faculty development opportunities reference sheet prepared by our outstanding Faculty Center for Excellence. Also, just to be sure, we are going to raffle some stuff off. It's not stuff, it's like gift cards, but we'll call it stuff. We're going to raffle gift cards off. So if you don't have a raffle ticket, now is your last chance to get one. Where's team? All right, make sure this happens because I'm going to be calling one out soon. And yeah, so raise your hand as AJ heads up the aisle and you will get a raffle ticket. And I guarantee someone will win something. Okay. I'd like to extend my thanks to President Morales and the cabinet members for joining us today. I see them all scattered around, no longer sitting in the little section right there. But I'd like to introduce them to our new faculty in particular. I think everybody who's been here for a minute would know who they are. But first we have Brian Haddock. There's Brian. How can you Canese people still cheer for him after he left you? Just left you in the lurch. But okay, Brian Haddock, President, Chief of Staff. We have Robin Phillips, our Vice President for Human Resources. Robin, by the way, you left some lyrics up here. You did. I found them. It says, "My name is Robin and HR is the best. We're not afraid of other divisions. We'll put them to the test." Not bad bars from an HR person and a St. Louis person. All right. Okay. So Robin Phillips. We have Paz Oliveras, who's back there, our Vice President for Student Affairs. Robert Nava. He left us. How dare he? That's it. Nobody contribute to the faculty staff campaign. We'll show Robert. We have Robert Nava, Vice President for University Advancement. Sam Sudhakar, our Chief Financial Officer and Vice President for Finance, Technology, and Operations, Mr. World Class. And of course, I'd be remiss if I did not introduce El Jefe, President Tomas D. Morales. I'd also like to recognize a few individuals on the Provost leadership team who have been recently appointed. First, we have Dr. Christina Hasija, who most recently served a one-year term as the interim dean of the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences and was named dean of the college effective July 1. Christina. We also have Dr. Edna Martinez. Is Edna here? Dr. Martinez, going once, going twice? Well, she's probably out of PDC because she was here, but then she left. She gave up already? All right, well, Edna Martinez, missing her big opportunity to shine. We were all going to sing welcome back to Edna Martinez because she is here now as the Palm Desert campus's new Associate Vice President and Administrator in charge, but she was here before as faculty in the James R. Watson and Judy Rodriguez Watson College of Education. So welcome back, Edna, wherever you may be, but we're looking forward to you doing great things out there in the Coachella Valley at the PDC. We have also made some new interim appointments since our last general faculty meeting. Those include Jenna Aguirre, who's not with us today, but she is the interim chief of staff for academic affairs. we have Cynthia Crawford, Dr. Crawford, who I saw here earlier. Oh, there you are. You moved. You were back there. Now you're over here. All right. I think all of you know that, or most of you may know, that Dorota Huizinga, who served for the past 5.5 years as our Associate Vice President for Sponsored Programs and Dean of Graduate Studies, she has decided to, as she said yesterday at a little going away lunch for her, return to the bright side and re-enter the ranks of faculty as a glide path to retirement. And so Dorota has stepped down, and so Cynthia Crawford has taken over the sponsored programs side of that portfolio, and she is joined by Dr. Caroline Vickers. I don't know if Caroline's here or not, but Caroline is going to serve as the administrator in charge for graduate studies. So they will both be ensuring that we don't go off the rails with our sponsored programs or graduate studies, and in fact that we continue the great momentum we've had under Dorota's leadership. So thank you both. And just this week, we have another interim appointment, because I think many of you may know as well that Diane Podolsky retired from the CSU to return home to Minnesota. Diane was our director of the Office of Community Engagement. And so Brian Heisterkamp has decided to serve as our interim director for community engagement. So thank you for your willingness to serve in that capacity, Brian. The division has also made some changes in terms of its operational structure. Starting in no particular order, summer intercession, which used to be under the scope of the College of Extended and Global Education, as I think many of you know who taught this summer, was moved over to the state side. This was not because of any kind of mismanagement on the part of CG. CG has done an incredible job administering our special sessions. But as you all know, the CSU, post-COVID, is in the midst of a bit of an enrollment conundrum. I think, as you all also know, our funding is tied to stateside enrollment, FTE. And so when we moved summer back to stateside, it allows for us to count those students toward our stateside FTE so that we don't get dinged with our funding. So summer, this past summer, and in all likelihood for the upcoming summer, we'll be operating on the state side, and until we right the ship with respect to our enrollment, summer will remain there. So that's one change. The University Honors Program, the directorship is still intact, but the University Honors Program was previously housed within ASUA, and now that is moving under academic programs directly instead of indirectly in terms of the Vice Provost portfolio. And as recently shared by President Morales, and if you were confused by other things going on, you know, Sam Sudakar's new titles, Sam just wanted the longest title on campus or something like that. But as recently shared by President Morales, all faculty-facing functions of academic technologies and innovation are moving to the Faculty Center for Excellence under Academic Affairs, and the leadership, the steady leadership of Dr. Brad Owen. So thank you, Brad, for continuing that charge. As in prior years, we have a list of priorities for academic affairs that all of you will be a part of, like it or not. They include GI 2025. I know the final ship for GI 2025 in terms of the metrics given to us by the Chancellor's office back in 2015 has sailed in terms of admitting classes, but the intent of GI 2025 is going nowhere. Essentially, we are still being asked to do all we can to remove impediments to timely graduation for our students and to elevate our first-time full-time freshman 4-year and 6-year graduation rates and our 2-year graduation rates for our transfer students. We were doing great pre-COVID. We've had a little bit of backslide subsequent to COVID, but we need to continue to do all we can to improve our graduation rates and to close the equity gaps. So that will be a big point of focus this year in academic affairs and campus-wide. As the president mentioned during his convocation remarks, we also are kicking off a brand new strategic plan. And before I give any props to folks who had a hand in that, I will say that the one thing I've really appreciated here at CSUSB, and then the president could say, the one thing you might like is your retreat to the Department of Sociology. I've appreciated a lot here at CSUSB, but one of the many things I've appreciated here at CSUSB is how we use our strategic plan. I've been on 3 different campuses as a full-time faculty member and administrator, and more often than not, strategic plans are things you do and they go on the shelves. Our strategic plan really is the blueprint for how we allocate resources and what we prioritize on our campus. So I am thrilled that so many of you participated in the deliberative process that led to our new strategic plan that the president discussed, and that I think you all received the little pocket-sized strategic plan version on your way in the building today. So I'm excited about the new strategic plan, and I would be remiss, now that they're broken up, because I see they're not sitting together right now, if I did not acknowledge Dr. Nicole Dabbs and Dr. Kelly Campbell for their brilliant leadership in the strategic planning process. It really, it personally exceeded the lofty expectations I had, and I think that the end result is just a wonderful document. Not just in terms of its substance, but it's also pretty when you see the big version. So, in any case, thank you both for all of your work in that effort. We also have some new leadership searches going on in academic affairs. We're working with a search firm for the Associate Provost and Dean of the College of Extended and Global Education, the CG Dean position. As you know, this search has been going on for quite some time. And the reason it's been going on for quite some time is not for lack of interest, but because of the uniqueness of that position. CG operates both our self-support programs and our international programs, and it really requires a unique skill set in order to effectively manage that college. And so we've had a lot of people who are interested. We've had some people come close, but we decided that we were going to relaunch the search at the beginning of the summer with the help of Isaacson Miller. They're doing a great job in terms of pulling together strong candidates who can vie for that leadership position. We are also going to be recruiting for the permanent vice provost for academic affairs and the associate provost for faculty affairs and development. Currently, we have faculty positions where we intend to go forward with recruiting for new faculty positions this upcoming year. I'll leave that at that. But that is our plan, because we know that both replacing and adding to our tenure track density is critically important to the success of our campus and our students. And I say that not at all to disparage the wonderful work our lecturer faculty members do, only to say that we want to make sure we have the right balance of tenure line and lecturer faculty. So I'd like to thank everyone who's going to be serving on all of these recruitment committees across campus over the course of the upcoming fall and spring terms. Other things going on in academic affairs. We have some news with respect to faculty research and professional development. Among some of the happenings this academic year, 6 faculty fellows will support faculty in the areas of academic technologies, disability difference and accommodation, faculty wellness, chair development, affordable learning solutions, and high performance computing. So I thank those of you who are going to be serving in the capacity as faculty fellows for all of these key strategic initiatives. Also, in support of CSUSB's new strategic plans, DEI goal 3 of our new strategic plan is DEI. A new equity-minded teaching course will be offered for all faculty through the FCE. A couple of other priorities for academic affairs and for campus, frankly, this year. I already mentioned enrollment. Our enrollment is down. Our mean unit load is up, which is a good thing. But we have, quite frankly, struggled to recover to the levels that we were at pre-pandemic. So that's important in a number of ways. I already mentioned that our funding is in part tied to where we land with respect to the Chancellor's Office targets for enrollment. And so it doesn't serve us well to have our enrollment not reach those targets. We're working very diligently. Rachel Beach's team and all the deans and student affairs and everybody else, we're working diligently to try to drive our enrollment up. We have, just to be candid, our enrollment issues are a function of a couple of things. I mean, the pandemic is undeniably part of it, but we are, as the president often reminds us, in the fastest growing or one of the fastest growing regions in California. So we do have a large pool of people we can tap to come here and enjoy in the educational benefits of CSUSB. But there's also a lot of competition in the region, not just locally, but also people realize that we do have a large and growing population here in the IE, and so they're coming snaking around in our backyard. But also we have things that we need to focus on where faculty really are critical players. One of our key challenges is in retention. We historically had seen a significant drop from year 2 to 3 in retention, but we've seen in most recent data that our retention figures are that there have been significant increases in or decreases in retention from year 1 to 2, and there are lots of reasons for that. But the simple fact of the matter is we really need to strategically focus on, and that might be the last time I'll say strategically today because I think I've overused the term today. All right, but we will need to focus on identifying why students are stopping out, and we know what some of the challenges are already. Some are financial, some are related to academic readiness, and some are related to the labor market still being tight and students having opportunities to do other things other than go to school at this time. But nevertheless, we need to ensure that we're fulfilling our promise to students when they come here, that we are going to do everything we can to ensure that they leave here in whatever pace works for them, but as quickly as possible so that they can go on with their lives and with degree in hand. So you'll be hearing a lot more about that over the course of the weeks and months to come. The president also mentioned what's going on with respect to our budget. I think as you all, if you're paying attention, inflation's still a real thing. So that has negatively impacted our state's economy. But overall, the state budget deficit is projected, last time I looked, to be $32 billion, which was over 100, if I'm not mistaken, over $100 billion swing from last year where we had a significant surplus. The governor and we appreciate this, and thankfully the governor is honoring the multi-year compact, which is going to bring an additional $227 million to the CSU, and our campus share of that's something in the neighborhood of $8 million or something. But that is basically going to all go to mandatory costs that we have. So, for example, contributions to healthcare premiums and things like that. So it's not going to be a windfall at all. And again, our funding externally is related to enrollment, but also tuition dollars And so we have a shortfall with respect to tuition dollars because of enrollment declines. And so, the president mentioned the budget scenario, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to say that one of the things that we will be working on over the course of the year is dealing with the reality of the budget, understanding that we are facing some lean budgetary times, but also assuring you that we will do all we can, not just to keep the lights on and the trains running, but actually to support our faculty with respect to their research, their teaching, and their service. I also promised that I would mention the budget so that the deans weren't left holding the bag when they share kind of bad budgetary news throughout their colleges. So I did want to mention that. With respect to that, we're also doing some budget realignment in academic affairs, where we're collaboratively discussing how to ensure that our strategic priorities are funded, and that I said strategic again, darn it, and that our priorities have the support that they need. For example, I've mentioned enrollment a few times. Enrollment management, the whole Office of Enrollment Management has an O&E budget of less than $70,000 that they use to do all of their outreach, their marketing, their recruitment. And again, they're not the only players in enrollment. Enrollment is a campus-wide effort. It just happens to be a part of their name. but we have to ensure that they have more resources to do the work that they need to do to draw prospective students' attention to all the wonderful work that we have going on our campus. So more news on that to come. I remember, you ever been in like the doctor's office? I stay away from those places as much as I can, but if you ever go to one of those places, you want the good news or the bad news. And I'm always the person who says, give me the bad news first, doc. So that was the bad news. All right, yay! But there are, in the words of T.I., big things popping on campus. Lots of good things. I mean, we had another banner year for sponsored research, largely because of the work that faculty do. We took in, if I'm not mistaken, something like $52 million in new grants last year. Dorota's not here to tell me I'm wrong, and Cynthia's too soft-spoken to shout and say, you lie! But I think it was like around $52 million in new grants last year, which is just incredible. So thank you all for all of your work in that capacity. I don't know if you've noticed, there's like a crane at the front of campus and a big hole in the ground and stuff like that. Our new Performing Arts Center is going up, and if any of you have like $15 million you don't know what to do with, you can have your name on that building. All right. As the president mentioned, and I see Sonia Adi over here, we have our Master's in Science and Public Administration program. Sonia, the problem is, that's what I'm used to saying, but it's our Master's of Science and Physician Assistant program that is going gangbusters and is going to launch in the fall of 2025. And Yasuda is going to be its new home. And there has been a lot of public support for this physician assistant program under the direction of Dr. Adi, and so I'm really excited about that. You all know about our Student Services building at PDC, where we as a campus received state money to build the first state-funded, mostly state-funded building out there in the Palm Desert campus. And again, if any of you are sitting on a few million you don't know what to do with, Bob Stokes, I'm talking to you. Then you can feel free to contribute to finishing that building off, and we'll put your name on like a vending machine or something like that. All right. I already mentioned the new strategic plan. We had our Women of Color in Higher Education group who held a great symposium over the summer up at Lake Arrowhead, if I'm not mistaken. I'm right, Nancy. I see you back there. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we have the Watson College of Education has a name, right? The Watson College of Education. We had pub trivia where kinesiology showed out in force. All right. However, It was, I believe, the Maniacs from CG who actually won the grand prize. But we intend to renew that. And also, it was already mentioned, our athletics teams just had a crazy year last year. Our women's volleyball team's always in contention for a national title. Our men's basketball team made it last year to the Division II Final Four. Our baseball, softball, and men's golf teams all made NCAA tournament appearances last year, which is a pretty big deal. We have a new AD, athletic director. I used to work in athletics, so shorthand, right? But Sharif Amr, who is our new athletics director. So lots of cool things going on our campus and lots of things to be excited about. In fact, I'd be remiss if I did not mention the August 31st Yotes. Is it Yotes or Yotes? Yotes? It's Coyotes. I know, President Rouse. It's Coyotes, but we have a volleyball tournament that's called the YOTES Classic, and that's August 31st. And I met with Sharif and I said, we're going to get as many faculty members as we can to come to that game against that match against Western Washington. So you all are invited to see our women's volleyball team play August 31st, right here in the Casoulas Arena as part of the Yotes Classic, Coyotes Classic. Anyway, so lots of cool things going on with respect to that. I also was mentioned, homecoming was mentioned. I don't know if you, and I know many of you attended, but I will tell you, our homecoming here, if you haven't been to our homecoming, it's October 28th. Our homecoming is awesome. It's the best, with one exception. I'm looking around the room. This is going to be kind of an inside joke. I'm looking around the room. I'm going to guess most of you haven't been to Howard University's homecoming. All right. I've been to more Howard homecomings than I have any place I've gone to. But in any case, Howard's homecoming's, it's off the chain. But our homecoming is second only to Howard's that I've been to. I'm on UC Irvine's alumni board, went to their homecoming last year. HU, right? Went to UCI's homecoming last year. Nothing compared to ours. Ours is just great. It's family fun, good food, good drink, and all kinds of things. You can catch the president hanging out in the beer garden. I've never been in there. I don't know what's in there, but in any case, it's a good time. So I encourage you all to come out. All right, moving on to the highlights of today's program, the introductions of our new tenure-track faculty. I am pleased to bring to the stage, to the podium, Dr. Kevin Grisham, Interim Associate Provost for Faculty Affairs and Development, who will moderate this portion of our meeting.
I'll pull down the microphone here. Walking with the provost, by the way, because he's about a foot taller than me, I always have to run, and microphones are the same way. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, friends. Welcome back. It's always good to see colleagues, many of which I've known for almost 16 years at this campus. So this morning, each of the deans will, as well as the new founding program director, Dr. Adi, will introduce their new recently recruited and appointed faculty member for each of the colleges. Before we do that, I just want to say, on behalf of the Office of Faculty Affairs and Development, thank you to the Faculty Senate, thank you to the California Faculty Association, and thank you to faculty. Our job, as I say every day when we go in our office, is to support faculty success, to support student success, and the greatest honor I have after 15 years of being here is serving all of you. So if you ever have concerns, questions, you know who to talk to, that's the provost. No, I'm just kidding. We did, as has been stated many times before, last year we had a very banner year for recruitment and recruited some of the most diverse population and best faculty in the time that I've been here. We are now adding 38 tenure-track faculty members, 2 librarians who actually started last January, but we will be honored here today. They come from around the United States, overseas, including Denmark, Iraq, Canada is overseas, contrary to what most Americans think. It is an overseas country. As well as more than a few of them are alumni of CSUSB, so I'll give a shout out to my fellow Coyotes as a alumnus of this campus as well. They are some of the best and brightest from across the nation. I got a chance to meet with them at the new faculty orientation on Monday and Tuesday, as well as throughout the recruitment process, and I can tell you they're going to add to the great foundation we already have here at CSUSB. So the deans have been given very specific instructions, because we know sometimes they can go off script. So they've been told exactly what they can say and how much they can say. And so I was discussing this with my wife last night, and she said, what you need to do is what we do with our children. And that is, if they follow the instructions, they will get a gold star. And if not, we will castigate you publicly. No. So with that being said, let me introduce our first presenter of the new faculty, and it's actually our newest program on campus, and that is the founding program director for the Physician Assistant Program, Dr. Sonia Ati.
Thank you so much. I am excited to announce that we've had exponential growth in our program over the last year, from a team of 1 to a team of 5 and growing. So today, on behalf of our developing Master of Science in Physician Assistant program, I am honored to introduce our 2 newest team members. Paul Gonzalez, if you could stand up, please. He joined us in June as our Director of Didactic Education, so he is leading our 15-month didactic phase of our program. And then joining us just this week is Dr. Monique Williams as an Associate Professor and lead of our admissions and recruitment efforts. So please join me in welcoming them to our campus.
I'll see you afterwards. And now she set the foundation for the other deans, so you got to come up to the baseline she just set, which is really high. So I'd like to now introduce the Dean of the College of Arts and Letters, Dr. Ruling Zhuang.
It is my distinct honor to welcome the cream of the cream, the best of the best, 6 new tenure-track faculty in the College of Arts and Letters. The first one I would like to introduce and welcome to our campus is Dr. Guillermo Aviles Rodriguez from the Theater Art Department. Guillermo, welcome. Thank you. And the second one I would like to introduce is Dr. Andrea Devonshire, Assistant Professor of Philosophy Department. Welcome. And I'm just going to introduce my new faculty based on alphabetical order. And the third tenure-track faculty I would like to introduce is Dr. John Vincent DeSembarali, Assistant Professor of Art History in the Department of Art and Design. Welcome, John. And next one is Dr. Kurt Kanasaka, Assistant Professor of Japanese Literature and Languages from the World Language and Literature Department. I think Dr. Kanasaka is not here because he's performing at the Japanese Festival in Japantown. And that's the next, I can welcome Dr. Kanasaka. And the next I would like to welcome is Dr. Nicole Scalisi. Again, is Assistant Professor of Art History and Global Studies in the Department of Art and Design. Welcome, Dr. Scalisi. And last but not least, Professor Easy Wazerstein of Creative Writings in the English Department. Again, welcome to my 6 extraordinary new faculty member, and also a big shout out to department chairs and faculty on the search committee and the faculty for bringing the best of the best to our campus. Thank you. And I'm supposed to draw a lucky winner. Okay, The last 4 digit is 452. 452. Last 3 digit. Anybody? The whole number is 149452. No? Okay, going once. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all right. All right. Last 3 digit. 513. Yay! Yoo-hoo! All right, congratulations. Okay, now I'm going to bring Dr. Grisham back to the podium.
Thank you, Ruling. Now I'd like to introduce the Dean of the Jack H. Brown College of Business and Public Administration, Dr. Tomas Gomez Arias.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, buenos días, everyone. I'm so happy to introduce actually 7 new faculty members. I don't know if can I introduce my new chairs because I have 2 of them. I know I don't get the start. Haycon Brown in marketing and Conrad Shayo in IDS have been serving as interim positions, and now they are permanent over there. Haycon is there, and okay, now our new faculty members, they are absolutely fabulous, and I mean JHBC fabulous, which is something special. Please stand up when I say your names. Both from Long Beach City College with a PhD in computer science from University of Idaho, Karen Thurston is joining us as assistant professor in cybersecurity based in our Palm Desert campus. I don't know if she's here or oh, there she is, Karen. From Elizabeth City State University and with a PhD in management science from the University of Toledo, Nima Molavi will be an assistant professor of supply chain management, also based in Palm Desert, and there he is. Welcome, Nima. Both from Towson University, and you see there's a pattern here, there's a theme. PhD in sport management from University of Florida, Ari Kim is assistant professor in marketing over there. R.K. Reddy comes to us from Indiana University, South Bend, with a PhD in business administration from University of Memphis as a new associate professor in entrepreneurship. And R.K. is back there. Why are you always at the back? Elizabeth Castillo comes from Arizona State University with a PhD in leadership from the University of San Diego, over there. She will be assistant professor in management with a focus on sustainability and inclusion. Kyung Kang was at Texas A&M when she saw the light and wanted to join us as an assistant professor in public administration. Her PhD is from SUNY Binghamton. And Rodrigo Cárdenas, where are you, Rodrigo? There he is. Rodrigo Cárdenas comes to us from the University of Alberta, where he got his PhD in finance, and obviously he's assistant professor in finance. I'm sorry, no rank and no promotion yet. Just wait a little bit. Please give them all a warm welcome, a CSUSB welcome. You didn't need an innocent hand, right? Just one. Oh, you have more? Okay. Yeah, okay, that was the innocent hand. Okay. The number is, and I'm reading from the end, 134. So I guess if you start from the last 3, it will be 431. So from left to right is 431. From right to left will be 134. Have I created it? Oh, we have a winner, despite my best efforts. Okay.
Okay, Tomas, you get a half a gold star, but that's okay. Okay, it's now my pleasure to introduce the dean of the most recently named college on our campus, the James R. Watson and Judy Rodriguez College of Education, Dean Shinaka Damochuko.
Good morning and welcome back to faculty. Chinaka Donwachuku, Dean James R. Watson, and Judy Rodriguez Watson, College of Education. I want to make sure it's said right, because it's my privilege and honor to introduce 6 new faculty members who are joining us for this academic year. The first person is Ms. Jennifer Cahart, who is coming in an assistant professor in special education in the Department of Special Education, Rehabilitation, and Counseling. She is going to be an assistant professor for counseling, excuse me. The second person is Dr. Caroline Fitchett, assistant professor for special education from the Department of Special Education, Rehabilitation, and Counseling. Caroline Fitchett, are you here? All right, I know she's been around. She's been here for orientation and all that. Again, Department of Special Education, Rehabilitation, and Counseling, assistant professor in the Rehabilitation Counseling Program, Dr. Hik-Young Lee. In the Department of Teacher Education and Foundations, we have Dr. Tamra Roos, assistant professor for TESOL. Is Tamra here? Okay. Over there. Thank you. Dr. Pete Smith is stepping into the tenure track from being a lecturer, and she's coming in as assistant professor in a multiple subject program in the Department of Teacher Education and Foundations. She's not in this room right now because she's busy doing new student orientation, but I want us to welcome Dr. Pete Smith. And the last, Dr. Janet Zambrano, who is coming in as assistant professor in educational psychology in the Department of Teacher Education and Foundations. Dr. Zambrano. Thank you. The number 445. And it's my honor to now introduce. I'm introducing. All right.
Thank you, Shanaka. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the College of Natural Sciences, and Sastry, remember, you can get a gold star for this, Dr. Sastry Pantula.
So let me first thank our chairs, our faculty, our staff in our college, and especially staff in our faculty affairs and the provost for their work in recruiting excellent faculty from diverse backgrounds and who value harmony and outstanding citizenship. I also want to mention one fact. I'm proud of our faculty who brought in close to $10 million in grants last year to support our student success and for scientific discoveries. So with that, let me introduce our new faculty who will define the future. So if you're in the audience, please stand and be recognized. Adil Al-Azawi, Assistant Professor in Computer Science and Engineering. I know he's not here because we are working on his visa from Iraq with Senator Feinstein's office. Number 2, Hector Baños Cervantes, Assistant Professor in Mathematics. Kua-Shu Chen, Assistant Professor in Computer Science and Engineering, and she's finishing her PhD and will join in spring. Warren Forbes. I don't have to tell what department he's from. Assistant Professor in Kinesiology. Ri Hu. Assistant Professor in Mathematics. Youngmin Kim. Assistant Professor in Physics and Astronomy. Maria Kate Rodriguez Wimberly. Assistant Professor in Physics and Astronomy. May San Rosano. Assistant Professor in Nursing. I also want to take the time to recognize Taylin Giorgio, who was appointed as a full-time lecturer in computer science and engineering last fall, and Lamis Nazal, who is appointed this year as a full-time lecturer in mathematics. In fact, she won the Outstanding Lecturer Award from our college in 21-22. So with that, let me do the drawing. Seven, 867. It's an orange one, so I thought I'd read the first three. 788867. Over there. Thank you.
Thank you, Sastry. It's now my honor to introduce the Dean. I don't have to say interim anymore, so the Dean of the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Dr. Christina Zija.
Good morning, everybody. It's so great to be here, and I'm very excited to welcome our new faculty in the College of Social Behavioral Sciences. We had a, I think, outstanding recruitment process last year, and we are welcoming 11 new tenure-track faculty to our college. First, I would like to introduce Dr. Kevin Rosales, Assistant Professor of the Department of Child Development. Dr. Andrea Giuffre, Assistant Professor from the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Not sure if she's here. She is here, okay. Dr. Cixi Wu, Assistant Professor, also from the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Oh, there you all are, okay. Next, we have Dr. Edward Tether Posadas from the Department of Economics. Dr. Beaja Nota, Assistant Professor of the Department of Ethnic Studies. She is our second tenure line faculty with the Department of Ethnic Studies, so welcome. Dr. Alicia Gutierrez Romine, she is a new Associate Professor in the Department of History. Dr. Michelle Lorimer, Assistant Professor, Department of History. Next, we have Dr. Gino Howard, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology. Dr. Nicholas Moon, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology. and Dr. Anahid Modric, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology. And finally, Dr. Rosario Rizzo-Lara, Assistant Professor of Department of Sociology. And thank you all and welcome. I'll try to get my gold star. 78868. All right, there's somebody up there. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Apparently you need to be in kinesiology or history. They're giving each other a run for celebrating, it seems like, so. It is now my pleasure to introduce the last of the Dean of our academic leadership team, and that is the Dean of Libraries, Dr. Rebecca Lubis.
Thank you, Kevin, and I'm totally going to forego my claim to a gold star because I have to take this opportunity to welcome you all back to the library because we have a wonderful renovation and creation of the new first floor commons. You can get a sneak peek now, but it will be complete next month in the middle of September, and we want to make it a welcoming place for faculty, for teaching, learning, and research, and for you to encourage your students to come, and so we can welcome them for their studying and their intellectual nourishment needs. Now, let me say I am so thrilled to introduce our two newest librarians. They got a running start because they joined us in January. And I want to introduce to you Sanjit Maan. He is our discovery and technology librarian, and he got in on the act very soon and put on the building team to help us have a technology-rich space in our new first floor commons. So welcome, Sanjit, and thank you for joining us. Also, we have William Ortiz. Stand up, William. William fills the critical role of instruction coordinator. So William is your go-to librarian for meeting your needs for embedding library resources in your class. So please take the time to meet Sanjit and William. Thank you. And now, one more raffle drawings. So I'll read the whole number, 149463. Okay. And now I am happy to turn it back over to our esteemed provost.
All right. Thank you, deans, for all of the wonderful introductions. And once again, welcome to all of our new faculty here at CSUSB. Congratulations. I said this at the new faculty orientation the other day, but I just wanted to restate it. A couple of things. One, for our new faculty, we didn't bring you here so that you could fail. We brought you here so that you could succeed, and not just the Faculty Center for Excellence, but all of us here at CSUSB are dedicated to your success. So please, within reason, let us know if there's anything we can do to help you have a smoother transition into the CSUSB family. We are very thrilled to have you here. And the other thing I mentioned, and this goes out to some of the senior faculty here who weren't at the new faculty orientation, but the other thing that I mentioned at the new faculty orientation is that I firmly believe our newest faculty members are full and equal partners in our academic operations here. I don't believe in that, oh, you're an assistant professor and you just need to behave yourself until you get tenure. They have full and equal voice, and I hope that everybody regards them in that fashion. So welcome, everybody. Also, as Kevin pointed out, we might have to do a We Got Spirit kind of rally between Knees and history, because I felt some competition there. So, you know, I'll spare you that, but maybe we might have to do it, or we'll just see you at the Brain Bowl. I love it. Haddock, you see what happens when you leave? All right. A couple of other quick thanks. Again, thanks to the FCE, thanks to Kevin and Brad for all and the whole team for putting on what I thought was just a fantastic new faculty orientation, and for doing all you did to welcome our new faculty here. Also, thanks for all you're going to do this upcoming year with respect to programming and ensuring that our faculty have access to all of the training and tools that they need to be as successful as they can. I'd also like to thank our department chairs. I say this all the time. I said it just yesterday. I was a department chair for 9 years. I love being a department chair. Would never, ever, ever do it again. I'm talking to you, Ken. It's a challenging job, and so I really do appreciate all that you do to manage your departments. And I don't mean manage people, but I mean, to kind of, keep the trains running in the departments and ensure that your faculty have what they need and your students have what they need, but also the roles you play in the recruitments. I know it's a lot of work. I'd also like to shout out the folks watching at PDC. We didn't forget about you, PDC, so hopefully you're staying cool out there in the desert. I'd also like to, again, acknowledge, I don't know that our faculty fully understand all that our deans do with respect to not just leadership, but advocacy. They are always advocating for faculty in the colleges, and I respect and appreciate them all for all of their hard work and their advocacy on your behalf. And lastly, just in the shout-out list, Rebecca, I meant to say in the list of great things happening, what's going on in the library. But as Dean Lubas mentioned, it's a whole new look, a whole new feel. And so thank you for your leadership of the library, Rebecca. It's just, it was always a great space, but it's transitioning into an even greater space under your leadership. So thank you very much. Okay, a couple of other things before we get out of here. I'd be remiss. I don't know if oh, there you are. Claudia is still here. If I didn't shout out our faculty senate, led by again our illustrious faculty senate chair, Dr. Claudia Davis. So welcome, Claudia. Thanks to you and all of the other members of the Senate leadership team for all of your work on behalf of our campus and the faculty and your participation in shared governance. Thank you very much. I know Ron Chen can't be here because he's setting up, he's putting forks and knives down and things like that for the luncheon. But I did want to also acknowledge the CFA, our campus's chapter of the CFA. I see the red shirts up in here, so shout out to CFA and Ron Chen, who's the president of the CFA this year. And again, I'm going to remind you that the CFA's retreat will begin at noon in the SMSU East, also known as Obershaw. And now we have a final raffle. We still have one more, right, Jeanette? This is the grand prize. This is the one that you can buy a new car with this one. All right, so let's see here. I know what I'll do. Our new director of the Faculty Mentoring Network. Hey, all right. And I was going to say the number was 867-5309, but I thought most of you wouldn't know that reference, so I'm not going to say that. Okay, anyway, thank you all for joining us here today at the General Faculty Meeting, and thank you once again for all of your commitment and contributions to making CSUSB a great place. I look forward to the year ahead, and with that, we are out of here in ample time for you to get over to Obershaw and enjoy your lunch. Take care, everybody. Have a great year.